didn't shout, I didn't sing, I just held on to anything. It wasn't bold, it wasn't bright, but it was faith that fought that night. Faith ain't always loud or strong, sometimes it's just not moving on. It whispers when the world expects a roar, it prays behind a slamming door. And if you think you're losing ground, remember faith don't have to sound. Faith ain't always loud, but heaven hears it just as proud. I didn't quote no scripture lines, I just showed up 1,000 times. No fire fell, no mountain moved, but I stayed still, and that still proved faith ain't always loud or clean. It walks through places no one's seen. It breathes when breathing hurts too much, and lifts a hand that's scared to touch. And when you break and hit the ground, that silence still can shake the clouds. Faith ain't always loud, but God still calls it sound. It's not in volume, not in show, it's in the quiet where you go, where tears and hope both share a pew, and trembling hearts still make it through. Faith ain't always loud or sure, it shakes, it doubts, it must endure. But He don't weigh the way you pray, He sees the faith you fought today. So if you're tired and worn and bowed, you're still the one He sings about. Faith ain't always loud, but it's loud enough for God. It hurts, it cries, it breaks, it bends. It trusts when nothing makes much sense. It keeps on walking through the ache, and calls that trust for heaven's sake. This is what faith feels like. Not loud, not clean, not always right. Just holding on with open hands when no one else could understand. It's hope with scars and sleepless nights. Yeah, this is what faith feels like. It's praying more than being sure. It's showing up with nothing pure. It's not the song, it's just the sound of standing up when you fall down. This is what faith feels like. Not loud, not clean, not always right. Just holding on with open hands when no one else could understand. It's hope with scars and sleepless nights. Yeah, this is what faith feels like. It's loving God with doubt still there. It's dragging grace through heavy air. It's not the fire, it's the fight, the choosing Him in lack of light. This is what faith feels like. No spotlight praise, just silent Christ, still waking up and saying yes with every breath that's second guessed. It's not all strength, it's not all light, but God still calls it faith, and that feels right.
Found my faith beneath the bed, dusty, torn, and hanging threads. But even faith that's weak and worn still holds the hand it once had sworn. My faith was on the floor, not shining like it shined before, but heaven never needed bright, just hearts that cling in darkest night. I didn't shout, I didn't run, but I was seen and I was known. My faith was on the floor, and He still called it home. I used to walk on solid stone, now every prayer feels thrown alone. But even whispers in the dust still reach the God I've learned to trust. My faith was on the floor, not like the saints in Sunday lore, but I held on with trembling grace, and still He met me in that place. I had no words, just weary eyes, but He saw truth beneath disguise. My faith was on the floor, but it still touched the Lord. It's not the shine that moves His heart, it's broken faith that won't depart. He honors what the world can't see, like floorboard faith inside of me. My faith was on the floor, but I was never loved more than in that moment, low and small, when grace bent down to catch it all. No choir sang, no light was shown, just me and God, and that was home. My faith was on the floor, but He still called it home. I didn't shout, I didn't pray, I just said, Lord, not today. But silence isn't where it ends. He heard me louder than my friends. He heard me give up, not with fire, not with fight, just a whisper in the night. He caught the words I couldn't speak, the weary breath, the heavy weak. No thunder rolled, no angel sung, but grace still moved when I was done. He heard me give up and still called me His own. I didn't quote a single verse, laid my hope down in the dirt. But mercy doesn't need a script. It shows up where the brave ones slip. He heard me give up in the quiet of my chest, when I had nothing left to guess. No folded hands, no altar call, just me and him, my final fall. And still he stayed and didn't leave. He saw a prayer inside my grief. He heard me give up and gave me breath again. Giving up don't mean you're gone. It's where he sings the softest songs. When we let go and break in two, he says that's where I'll carry you. He heard me give up and came with comfort in his hands. He never said you have to stand. He knelt beside the mess I made and loved the part I feared to face. So if you're down and out tonight, just know that giving up's inside of the one who hears the faintest cries. He heard me give up and still held me tight. I've walked through valleys dark and low, seen shadows stretch and crawl, felt winds of doubt begin to blow, almost heard my spirit fall. The world laid snares along my path, temptation strong and deep, but mercy met its righteous wrath, a promise I would keep. For I'm still covered by the blood, a crimson saving tide, washed clean within that holy flood. No longer can I hide my past erased, my future bride, redeemed from every stain. He guides my steps toward the light, through sunshine and through rain. My hands have faltered on the plow, my vision sometimes blurred. I've broken many a sacred vow, forgotten every word, a sinner born and prone to stray, with burdens on my back. Yet grace pursued me day by day, on every winding track. Yes, I'm still covered by the blood, a cleansing, boundless flow. My heart made new, misunderstood by all the folks I know. That precious sacrifice divine forever makes me free. His love an everlasting sign, eternally for me. When earthly trials press me down and strength begins to fade, I look to Calvary's rugged crown, where my redemption's made. His wounds speak louder than my faults, His mercy holds me fast. Through all life's desperate sudden halts, His faithfulness will last. Oh, I'm still covered by the blood, a powerful living stream, secured within His mighty flood, fulfilling every dream. No devil's power can break my hold. His Spirit lives in me, a story wonderfully told for all eternity. Forever by His grace I stand upon that solid ground, a promised home in God's own hand, where peace is always found.
I prayed while scared, I hoped through tears, I faced the dark with shaking fears. But even trembling hands can raise the kind of praise that heaven saves. Believing isn't always brave. Sometimes it's just the strength to stay, to whisper God when words feel wrong, to stand by faith that isn't strong. He never asked me not to shake, just to trust Him through the ache. Believing isn't always brave, but I believed anyway. My hands were cold, my heart was thin, I barely let the mercy in. But somehow grace still made its way to broken faith. I tried to pray. Believing isn't always brave. Sometimes it's just the strength to stay, to whisper God when words feel wrong, to stand by faith that isn't strong. He never asked me not to shake, just to trust Him through the ache. Believing isn't always brave, but I believed anyway. It's not the roar that moves the skies, it mustard seeds and tear-stained eyes. And when I thought I'd let Him down, He crowned my silence with a sound. Believing isn't always brave. Sometimes it's just the strength to stay, to raise one hand when both feel weak, and find that grace is what we seek. He never asked me not to break, just to keep going for His sake. Believing isn't always brave, but I believed anyway.
I screamed my doubts, I broke my trust, I shook the sky and cursed the dust. But love didn't flinch or walk away. He stayed through all I couldn't say. He let me question everything. Even when I pulled the strings, I tore apart the faith I knew. But still He held me through the truth. No lightning bolt, no angry
flame, just mercy calling out my name. He let me question everything and love me just the same. I pushed the grace I used to hold. I said things I won't retold, but somehow in that holy fight, He stood right there and held the light. He let me question everything. Even when I broke my wings, I turned my face and walked away. But He just waited anyway. No judgment stone, no list of wrongs, just steady love that stayed so long. He let me question everything and called me still His own. I thought the truth would push Him out. That questions meant I'd lost the route. But now I know He wants it real, even if it's pain I feel. He let me question everything. He let me cry and not explain. He stayed when I had nothing left, just one last doubt and shallow breath. And when I fell, He stayed right there, the God who welcomes every prayer. He let me question everything, and still He answered me with care.
Walked through some valleys I carved with my hands. I ran from His mercy, I broke every plan. But when I looked back, I saw something true. A Savior still waiting, arms open too. He's still on that cross in every lost cry, still bearing the shame I tried to deny. I may have wandered, but He never moved. His love didn't leave. He's still on that cross for you. I've sat in the silence, too ashamed to speak. But grace doesn't tremble when we're feeling weak. He didn't come down when the mocking got loud. He stayed for my soul. Oh, that's what love's about. He's still on that cross in every lost cry, still bearing the shame I tried to deny. I may have wandered, but He never moved. His love didn't leave. He's still on that cross for you. No wound too deep, no sin too wide. The nails didn't hold Him, His love didn't side. And if you feel far, just lift up your eyes. You'll see the Lamb still paying the price. He's still on that cross in your midnight pain, still speaking your name through the pouring rain. You may feel broken, but He's still the proof. Mercy still lives. He's still on that cross for you. I didn't wear it on my sleeve. I dragged it with me when I'd leave. But though it looked like barely there, that faith still made it into prayer. I carried faith like luggage, heavy, scuffed and torn. Didn't always feel like fire, but it's the reason I was born. It wasn't loud, it wasn't light, just held through every sleepless night. I carried faith like luggage, and he still called it right. I didn't shout it on the street, just hauled it through the aching heat. It wasn't neat, it wasn't proud, but heaven hears the quiet loud. I carried faith like luggage, no halo, no parade, but God still smiled on every step this stumbling soul had made. It shook and dragged, it barely shone, but grace don't leave the fight alone. I carried faith like luggage, and he carried me back home. You don't have to shine to stay, just keep your heart from walking away. That beat up bag of hope you bear, he sees it, he's already there. I carried faith like luggage, worn but still intact. It's not the size that makes it strong, it's who keeps bringing it back. And when I reach the final gate, that old faith bag will still feel great. I carried faith like luggage, but he saw it as brave. I walked away, came back then froze, my Bible shut, my hope too close. But somehow grace still called my name, even when I felt the shame. When faith felt like failure, and prayer was just a sigh, when I showed up empty-handed, still afraid to even try, he didn't flinch or turn away. He met me in that messy place. When faith felt like failure, he gave it holy grace. I didn't sing, I didn't stand, just held my tears in both my hands. But even silence, weak and warm, was faith enough for grace to form. When faith felt like failure and worship felt unsure, when all I gave was barely there and nothing in me felt so pure, he didn't ask for something loud, he just drew near beneath the doubt. When faith felt like failure,
still called it faith. I thought I'd lost what made me his, but love don't work on tests or lists. It sees the fight behind the face, and honor's just one step of grace. When faith felt like failure and I had no words to say, he heard the ache behind my chest and called it worship anyway. So if you feel too weak to stand, just lift what little's in your hand. When faith feels like failure, he understands.
I couldn't see the road ahead. I only followed what he said. Each step I took felt slow and blind, but faith don't always walk in line. I trusted in the dark, with fear still beating in my heart. No sky to guide, no light to see, just promises that carried me. And though I stumbled, broke and bled, he honored every step I tread. I trusted in the dark, and he lit up my path instead. There wasn't peace with every mile, just heavy days and quiet trial. But in the quiet I still heard the echo of his written word. I trusted in the dark when doubt and faith were torn apart. I held a hope with trembling hands, still trying hard to understand. But even there he walked with me through every shadow faithfully. I trusted in the dark, and he still made me free. It's not about how bright it gets, but who stays close when night resets. And now I know what faith can do. It makes the dark a holy view. I trusted in the dark with nothing but a fragile spark. He saw the tear, he heard the sigh, and never once passed me by. I didn't shine, I didn't lead, but I believed when all I'd need was to trust him in the dark, and that was light enough for me.